the potato-based cloning incident. And it's your boy Icon with a DC TV review, animated review for you, and they went all in on this one. Jesus Christ. So just to get some of the stuff, like some of the juicier stuff out of the way, we found some answers. We have answers on the Harley cloning incident. It was not time travel, like I said. And this was actually cool. Like, kudos to the writers, because apparently the reason why Harley's seeing double, because Ivy and Harley were in the room talking about how they could stop Lex Luthor from destroying the ozone and blocking out the sun. But then the actual clone Harley was in their apartment, and then when the three of them came face to face, she told the story about how it happened. So apparently, I believe this was like episode four or five, the episode where Jim Gordon had got the security job, and he put the potato into the oven, and then it made the clone because it was a cloning machine and not a microwave. They used that particular episode to say that there was a piece of Harley's hair that was on Poison Ivy. She took it off, she threw it to the side, it landed on Gordon's potato, and then when Gordon put it into the microwave, not only did it clone the potato like we saw, but it also created a clone of Harley, who's 95% Harley and 5% potato. So that was the Harley that's, that she's been seeing and that's been running all around Gotham. This particular Harley, because she's 95% Harley and she's like the Bat Harley, she's going around trying to fight crime. Like, she's stopping crime, she's trying to help out. She hung out with Batgirl. Her and Batgirl did a whole bunch of crimes that they thwarted, and they were the dynamic female duo running throughout the city. So now Harley's whole thing is she's just like, well, shit, I got a clone. So Harley and the clone end up going throughout the city, beating up crime and thwarting people. Ivy, meanwhile, she's trying to figure out how to take down Lex Luthor, and she can't figure out how to take Lex Luthor. So then clone Harley, Potato Harley, gives her the idea that instead of trying to like defeat Lex Luthor like the villain or the hero way, she should do it the corporate way and then actually take down the board. So she ends up going around to each individual board member trying to get them to vote Lex Luthor out of the CEO position so they can, vote him out, put somebody else in charge, and then they can stop the whole ozone thing. But she's trying to figure out how she should do it because she's not really like a people person. So then Talia, she gives her the idea. She was just like, oh, just go to the board members and talk to them and try to appeal to their good graces. So she's going around to the board. She has 6 board members on her side. There are 6 board members on Lex's side, and there's 1 board member left. And then Talia told her, she was like, well, this particular person, he hosts a golfing tournament every year. If you can get his vote, that'll give you the 1% that you need to vote out Lex Luthor. So she shows up at the golf tournament. Lex shows up at the golf tournament. Both of them are trying to fight to get this guy to vote either way for them. And because the guy was very obsessed with golf, Ivy pretended to be like, well, she didn't pretend because she really didn't know how to golf, but she pretended to be like the helpless damsel, feminine in distress little girl who doesn't know how to play golf. And then the guy, he thought that was cool because he said that his wife doesn't even show interest in golf. So he helped Ivy, taught her how to play golf, like he showed her the ropes of golf, and she won him over onto her side. And then after that, she tried to gloat. And then when she tried to gloat, she ended up hitting a golf ball in a celebratory victory hit. And then when she hit the golf ball, it flew right into the dude's eye, and then it split his skull, and then she killed the guy. So now the board is at a standstill, and Ivy doesn't get like the vote that she needs, and Lex is still in power. Meanwhile, now Harley, when she's hanging out with her clone Harley, she asked her clone, she said that, maybe you can look into the Nightwing murder since, you got this whole hero thing on lock. And then that's when the clone told her, she was like, well, shit, I can tell you who killed Nightwing. She's like, bitch, you killed Nightwing. And I told you that happened. And I said that because when Nightwing fell out of the tree, he had the friendship bracelet on his wrist. I said that, Harley killed him while sleepwalking. And that's exactly what happened, because like she was at the camp where Barbara was. She was sleepwalking. Nightwing didn't know that she was sleepwalking, but then Nightwing ran up on her, and then he was just like, you'll never be a hero, you'll always be a villain. And then like in her sleepwalking trance, she ran up on him and yoked him up, and then she kept saying she was a good guy, and that's how Nightwing died. The clone said that she was there for that, which was weird because when we saw the flashback, we didn't see the clone anywhere. But, she killed Nightwing. Nightwing died. So now Harley's all fucked up because she's just like, I can't believe she did it. She wanted to get proof because she didn't want to just believe the clone. So she went down to Psycho, and then she asked Psycho to go into her mind and show her the memory. So Psycho shows her the memory of her killing Nightwing. She's losing her shit, and then she's trying to fix the whole thing. So in order for her to fix it, she calls the Flash, and then she tells the Flash to run her back in time on the cosmic treadmill so she can get a do-over. She didn't get the do-over in the sense of stopping Nightwing's murder, but she got a do-over as far as Psycho knowing the information, because Psycho was going to out her on his podcast. So she knocked out Psycho. Flash reversed time. Harley ended up leaving Psycho, so Psycho doesn't find out that, she was the one that killed killed Nightwing. She goes and talks to her clone, and then she was just like, wow, you were right, you know, like I killed Nightwing. And then the clone was like, yeah, bitch, and now you're under arrest. So she tries to arrest her, and then the two of them get into a fight, and then, you know, this whole big thing happens. Harley like knocks her out, and then she goes and talks to Barbara. While she's talking to Barbara, you know, Barbara was just like, I'll never find out who Nightwing's killer is. And then Harley was just like, well, bitch, you know, she's like, I'm here to quit the bad team. And then, you know, after that, like, she was just like, no, Harley, you can't quit the bad team. And then clone Harley shows up. Both Harleys get into a fight. And after both Harleys get into a fight, our Harley dropped clone Harley off of a building, and then she smashed into mushed potatoes. And then after that, she was, you know, Barbara was like, oh my God, she was a potato clone. And then Harley was like, yeah, plus that bitch killed Nightwing. So she put the blame on the clone. So then after that, yeah, she was telling Barbara, she was just like, yeah, I gotta quit this bitch because it's not my thing. She's like, you know, I'm a villain at heart. Barbara tried to talk her off the ledge. And while the two of them were talking, now we enter the Killing Joke. And then the Joker came out of nowhere, shot Barbara in the gut. Barbara goes down, and I'm like, we done went from the Harley clone to finding out who Nightwing's killer is. Now we're doing the Killing Joke. I'm like, y'all done squeezed a lot of shit into this episode. That was it with Barbara like dying in Harley's arms and like Harley screaming. Meanwhile, back in Ivy's court, because Harley did the time travel thing where she rewound time, it actually rewound the whole incident where Ivy killed that guy. And then instead of her knocking a golf ball through his face and like cracking his skull, she accidentally slipped the golf club off, and the golf club went up his ass and killed him anyway. So I guess this guy was always meant to die, because in time travel, his death is a fixed point. So now they're back at the board. The board ended in a tie. It was both a yay and an nay, 6 sides around. Lex was just like, yes, I'm still in charge in your face, bitch. And then the guy's wife that Ivy killed, she showed up, and then it turned out, I believe it was like from episode 1 or 2, the girl who had the clavicle situation where Mr. Pig was running up on her trying to steal her clavicle, she actually was the wife of the guy that Ivy murdered. And then she said that now that her husband's dead, she has proxy over, you know, his votes and his shares. And she said because Harley was the one who helped her find her clavicle killer when nobody else believed her, she's gonna vote with Ivy. And she said the nay. Lex Luthor lost, and then they ended up restoring the ozone. So Ivy pushed the button, Lex got mad and went back to the moon. The sun is coming out again, you know, the brightness is ensuing. But for some reason, Ivy even said, like, you know, because the way, like, after she pushed the button and she stopped the whole ozone thing, the board basically left and, like, kind of like nobody cared. And then Lex just went off into space and, like, you know, nothing happened to him. Nobody did anything to him. And then Ivy was just like, well, shit, this doesn't feel like a victory. Because I don't know, like, I don't know what she was expecting. I don't know if she was expecting, like, dancing. I don't know if she was expecting to get, like, a statue or some sort of recognition. But it didn't feel like a victory to her. So I have no idea where her story arc is going to go in the final episode. And the clash between her and Lex Luthor, because we got 1 episode left. That was how it ended, and thank you for tuning in. So they jammed a lot. Like, they really jammed a lot. Like, they gave us closure to a couple of storylines, and then they jammed, you know, like this is gonna be interesting because no Bruce Wayne, Nightwing is dead. Batgirl's been shot, which means we're unfortunately gonna get Oracle, and I hate Oracle. And like, Lord knows where Robin is. I'm like, is the Apocalypse really dead? Could we still get the Apocalypse? I don't know. But this was very interesting. Like, the cloning thing is probably gonna come into play at some point too. But share your questions, comments down below, and we will continue to talk about it. So check out my other videos because we got Sterling Archer on the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Like, Sterling Archer, the final season. I've been watching this show since the beginning, and I never reviewed it before and then COVID happened. And they were taking too many breaks and stuff, but they announced the final season of Archer, so we're gonna be up on that Archer, dog. Also, I went to New York Fashion Week over the weekend. Look out for my videos for New York Fashion Week as I post that and other good superhero stuff as more content unfolds. So that was it, guys. So check me out on social media, hit the notification bell, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Until next week, I guess, for the season finale of Harley Quinn episode 4, we're gonna find out what's going on with all these deaths and everything and killing